We're going to design characters and we are going to dig deep. Hey everybody, welcome back to Fiction Technician. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jane Kalmus. I'm a writer of historical cozy mysteries, and right now I'm in the middle of another collab with author Brittany Wang. We are both sharing our character templates today. So after you finish this video, you're going to want to hop on down to the links below and check out Brittany's, because while we're both sharing character templates, she has kind of a whole other take on it. So you're not going to want to miss that. And you can also download these templates for your use. So I think we're both sharing Scrivener templates. I have a PDF version, and Brittany, I believe, is sharing a Word file. So you're going to get the tools you need to really dig deep on your characters. All right, let's talk about the first section of my character template, which is all about defining the character's look, their physical presence. So we've got the basics here at the top, the character's age, their build, their coloring. But what I really want to use this section for is defining a kind of unique physical presence for the character, because I really feel that helps the reader bond to the character because they can really see them in their mind's eye. So our first entry here is distinguishing characteristics. So these are just physical aspects of your character that not everybody has. Things like a scar or a limp. Not every character will get distinguishing characteristics, but a few of them sprinkled throughout your cast can be very effective in creating those unique physical looks for your characters. The next thing I like to think about here is the character's uniform. So this is a trick that I picked up from TV. I noticed that in a lot of shows, several characters would wear basically the same outfit in every episode, and I realized that's pretty true to life. I wear the same thing every day. My uniform is t-shirt, jeans, perhaps t-shirt, yoga pants, but basically the same thing every day. If I wanted to create a character uniform, I'd make it a little bit more unique. I'd make maybe vintage rock and roll t-shirt, loose cardigan, and jeans. But the point is that if you describe your character wearing their uniform in a couple of scenes, it will allow your readers to picture them in every scene and create that unique physical presence for them. And lastly, equipment. So I made videos on both character uniform and character equipment, and you can check those out later, but essentially the trick here is that I love to invest one or more of my character's skills into equipment, partly because it helps create that unique physical look, but also so that I can take it away when I want the going to get rough. Our next section here is all about the character's beliefs, and we're starting out with the comic perspective. Yeah. Not shutting up about the comic perspective because it is my favorite character creation tool. So I've made several videos on this one actually, and you can look at those later, but if you want the Cliff Notes version, the comic perspective is the character's unique way of viewing his world, which differs in a clear and substantial way from the normal worldview. And if you want a little example, the comic perspective of these Muppets are: I love trash, moi is so delicate and feminine, me love cookie. And almost all of the characters' humor and many of their decisions flow from these perspectives. So once you know your character's comic perspective, you frequently know exactly how they're going to react to different situations and how they're going to generate their own humor. And then I like to define the character's values. So by values, I don't mean moral values like truth, justice, the American way. What I mean here is all the things they value. So I value my writing, my kids' health, and having a lot of yarn. I don't value all those things equally, and actually ordering our values and choosing perhaps to reorder them based on our experiences is a lot of what story is all about. So I like to take a moment to figure out all the things that my character really values, and that may give me some options for how I can pit those values against each other later on. Next, I like to define the character's strengths and weaknesses. So I start out with their moral strengths and weaknesses, and here I am talking about moral values, truth and justice. The framework I like to use for this is the VIA Values in Action framework developed by psychologist Martin Seligman, and this is basically a list of 24 moral values that nearly every culture in the world has. So I like to just go through this list and pick out maybe the top 2 or 3 that my character really excels at, and the top 2 or 3 that they really kind of bottom out on. So perhaps I would say that they're really good at creativity and perseverance, but kind of bad at social intelligence and, say, forgiveness. And after I've got their moral strengths and weaknesses all set, I like to look at practical strengths and weaknesses. So practical strengths is just the skills that they're going to bring to the table in solving this plot, their skills, their knowledge, their access. And practical weaknesses is just the things that are going to make it more difficult for them to deal with the complications of the plot, their flaws, their handicaps, their fears. After values, I like to define the character's capsule storyline. Okay, to be honest, I might do this section first if I have a really strong idea of what adventure I'm going to send this character on. We're going to start out with the character's motivation. That is what they want abstractly, like professional success. And then we'll give them a goal that's in line with that motivation. A goal is something they want concretely, like to excel at a particular professional opportunity. Then we're going to give them a conflict, someone or something, but preferably someone standing in the way of them reaching that goal. And we'll also give them a dilemma. So 2 of their values are going to be in conflict. Perhaps their value of being successful is going to be in conflict with their value of being a business person with integrity. And they're going to have to choose one value to elevate over the other one. That's going to be their big dilemma. And I also want to give them a deadline, a reason that they have to address this dilemma. They can't simply let it languish forever. They're going to have to make a decision. And the final moment of the capsule storyline is just the epiphany, what they've realized as a result of facing this dilemma and having to make a choice. And the last part of my character template is to just map out the character's introduction. So I really like for all of my characters, when possible, to come on stage with a big moment that kind of shows the reader who they are and, helps the reader root for them or against them, as the case might be. So the first part of this is I want that character to be active, and I'm going to write down what specific action I want them to take. I'm also going to write down what emotion I'm trying to evoke in the reader. Am I trying to make the reader sympathize with them, feel sorry for them, laugh with them? Then I'm going to write down either a moment of nobility or a moment of humanity for them, possibly both. A moment of nobility is just a place where they show us their inner worth and make us admire them. And a moment of humanity is just a moment where they show us that they're just like us and they make us sympathize with them and identify with them. And then the last thing I'm going to write down for the character introduction is an internal contrast. I want to try in my introductions to give you a little bit of an internal contrast in the character, just to show you that this character has layers. There's more to him than meets the eye. I have to admit, I don't hit internal contrast for every single character introduction, but I like to try for it, and that's why it's here in my template, to remind me to strive for that moment. If you want to hear more about character introductions and what makes them work, please hit that red subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications, because I've got a deep dive on character intros coming up sometime in the next month here. We're going to be looking at the first 3 character introductions in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and seeing kind of what a really great character introduction looks like and why it works so well. Also, please like this video if you feel it gave you value. This is the best compliment you can give me, and don't forget to check out Brittany's video. Her take on characters is going to be amazing. Check out.